All right, in just about 2 hours, the NCAA tournament will be underway. March Madness is here, and to help us break down what to watch, we bring into the stream Krysten Peek. She's a Yahoo Sports reporter joining us from LA. I was going to ask you, but I think I can guess. Michigan State versus UCLA is what you're going to be watching, right?
Oh my gosh, that first playing game is insane. We're talking about two powerhouses that have to play in just to be in one of the 68 teams. So that one is like it's like poetic kicking off March in this tournament with with those two matchups.
I like that phrase, poetic there. Krysten, one thing that jumped out to me, obviously the schedule, it's a little bit different this year. We normally have games underway by this time on a Thursday. Today, it's officially kicking off tomorrow, or this year, I should say, it's officially kicking off tomorrow. Why did we see this change?
Well, it had to do with COVID-19 and the precautions and everything that the NCAA is doing to give the most amount of time for teams to get there, for them to test and have 2 days of negative testing so that they can safely continue this tournament. We look at a team like Virginia, they're not even there yet. They had a player that tested positive for COVID-19 during the tournament, during the conference tournament, and they're not leaving to get to Indianapolis until tonight, and their game's tomorrow. So if you're looking at that Virginia game for a matchup, you might want to take that upset because they haven't been able to practice in a week because everyone's been in quarantine.
Yeah, are we going to see a diminished kind of effort on the parts of the athletes? Not that they won't give their all, but because of the pandemic, I mean, everybody's in a different mode right now.
I think it's going to be the opposite. I think we're going to see more of an effort because you've got to look at the situation a year ago and the tournament was taken away from us, and you've got players on the teams right now that remember that feeling and remember working so hard to get there. And then there was no tournament. And then you have high school players who the McDonald's All-American game was taken away from them, and they know what that feeling felt like. So I think they're going to be more cautious. You know, the NCAA has done a great job. There's 4 team hotels. There's 7 different competition courts. The convention center there, they've totally gutted that out. There's 68 individual meeting rooms for each team that's in the tournament, 12 practice courts and 6 weight rooms. So they're doing everything they can to try to make this, you know, as beneficial for both sides as possible, us, the fans, and then also the players and the teams.
Krysten, talking about how everyone's feeling right now, you talk to players all the time. What's the mindset of these players overall? And is there sort of just a sense of relief that we're even seeing a tournament this year in 2021?
I think so. You know, I talked to a bunch of players. Iodu Sumu, who's leading #1 Illinois, and he just said to me, I asked him, I said, do you feel like there's pressure? Because you elected to come back and not go to the NBA to try to get to the NCAA tournament. And he said, no, there's no pressure. We are just happy to be playing. And the things that these 19, 20, and 21-year-olds have already gone through in the season, multiple COVID tests a week. I think they were tested 3 times a week. You know, having to not hang out with friends, kind of isolate themselves into just their teams. I mean, to them, it's just like, okay, we're here. This is the final road. We're finally at the tournament, and they're just excited to play.
What's it going to be like, though? It's still going to be a different experience inside the arenas where the games are going to be taking place. I mean, how does an athlete cope with what is, I hate using the word diminished, because when you get to this kind of event, it still has the prestige, but somewhat diminished.
You're absolutely right. And that plays a big role into it. What we love about the NCAA tournament is the crowd and the fans that all travel there, you know, whether it's the Final Four, the first round, teams that have never made the tournament before, they have their fan base come out, and we're not going to have that. And when I talked to Cade Cunningham, who's at Oklahoma State, he's the projected #1 player in the NBA draft next year. He said he misses the overrated chants. Like, he was hoping for that to kind of give him the second motivation. So what you're going to see is you're going to see the teams that did well on the road this year, that can kind of rally with their bench. They're going to be the ones to succeed and not fall flat in those pressure situations.
All right, so we got the first 4, 5:10 p.m., and then we've got the first round starting tomorrow. So, Krysten, we appreciate your being here. Krysten Peek, Yahoo Sports reporter, all the best to you.